I'm John Skinner, and this is an underwater view of the fishing covered in Chapter 11 of my book, Fishing the Bucktail. And the book covers bucktailing from both surf and boat for a variety of species, including striped bass, bluefish, and fluke. This video was shot under good fluke fishing drift conditions with a drift speed of approximately 1 to 1.4 miles an hour. My YouTube channel has a video on what's going on above the water on this fishing technique, which is light tackle vertical jigging. This video will focus solely on the underwater portion of that fishing. The noise you hear in the background is the contraption that was used to film this video, although there are times where you can hear a fairly rapid tapping sound, and I'm pretty sure that's coming from the fish finder. The rig is a small bucktail, generally in the 1 ounce range. It's a Spro type of bucktail. It's tipped with a 4-inch Berkley Gulp Alive swimming mullet. 1 foot above the bucktail is a small dropper loop with a 3/0 Gamakatsu bait saver hook with another 4-inch Berkley Gulp Alive swimming mullet. And I'm using 15-pound braided line for the main line and 20-pound test fluorocarbon for the leader. This video was shot in 20 to 25 feet of water in eastern Long Island Sound. The water is relatively clear for this area, but it would still be best to watch it in high depth if you can. I have a similar video on my YouTube channel that shows this type of fishing shot on a day with a very slow drift, and it's interesting to contrast how the fish feed both on a nice drift where this was shot versus when there's a very slow drift and the fish are much more picky. In this part of the video you can hear that clicking sound, and I believe that to be the sound of the sonar from the fish finder. Something I noticed on this video was that the fluke would hit multiple times, over and over, and one of the fish actually hit like 5 times. And this is a nice advantage of using the Berkley Gulp over a softer bait, because I know when I feel a hit and I miss it, using the Gulp, I don't worry that I lost my bait. I know I can just leave the bucktail down. If I had something soft on there, like a piece of spearing, and I had a hit and missed it, I would have to think that maybe I lost the bait, and I think many times they would indeed have ripped the bait off. Where these things are hitting over and over sometimes, but of course they can't get the Gulp off. So that's a nice advantage of using the Gulp over using some softer baits. Something I noticed while watching this video was that sometimes the fluke would follow for quite some distance before they were hooked up. And I think about when I'm fishing up in the boat and I hook a nice fish, we get a double header on, I might reach over and hit the GPS to get a mark on where that spot was. And after watching this, I realized that in many circumstances those fish may have been sitting well updrift of where I hit that GPS mark. So that's something I'll think about when I'm fishing, that I need to pull up somewhat updrift of where those GPS marks are. This fluke ends up hitting the rig at least 5 times. after all of that, the sea robin just takes what it wants. You might notice that there are like no bait fish at all on this video, and this one particular segment was shot in a little bit of a different area where I thought I was marking bait on the fish finder. That's what it looked like, and it turned out to be on the video just very small suspended weed, and that was showing up as bait on the fish finder. So sometimes when you see bait, it may not actually be bait. This slight suspended weed definitely had me fooled. I'm done narrating now. I encourage you to watch the light tackle fluke bucktailing video on my YouTube channel. That will demonstrate the tackle and techniques and so forth that go along with this kind of fishing. And there's some really nice fluke fishing action in that video. And again, this fishing is thoroughly described in Chapter 11 of my book, Fishing the Bucktail. Okay, enjoy the rest of the video.